Hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with another UFC Fight Night, finally out of the Apex. I will say, not the... I don't want to trash in this because I'm sick and tired of the damn Apex cards, and this is not an Apex card. There's some good fights. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm excited for this. Get some crowd going. Get some fun fights in here. I do like the main event and co-main event. Not the best for a main and co-main, but I'll freaking take it. I'll take it. Honestly, if this was anywhere near me, I would pay money to go to it. But I'm not going to Atlantic City. But yes. Let's get into UFC Fight Night Atlantic City, Blanchfield versus Fiorot. So breaking right down into it, going into the first fight of the night is going to be Angel Pacheco versus Carl Loran. I was torn in this fight, very much torn in this fight. Pacheco, he's making his debut. He had that really good, one of the best fights on Contender Series against Silva. He fought last week or 2 weeks ago, Danny Silva. That was an amazing fight. Even though he lost, he got into the UFC. But we can't be highly rating losses. We can't saying, oh, he lost against this guy, but he was super good in losing against him. That's why I really like him in this fight. I like Carl Lohan. I think he's a very efficient fighter. I think he's got really good grappling, and I think he's able to close the gap and land some good shots. But Pacheco is a dog. He's a dog, and it's going to be hard to take him out. I don't think Lauren's going to be able to take him out, but I think he's going to be able to apply a lot of pressure, back him up a lot. And Pacheco has been rocked in his fights. He has taken some damage. He has been rocked. But ultimately, I'm just going to be going with a decision for Lauren. I think that's going to be it. Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. I was very undecided on this fight. Petroski was looking good. He was looking good on what? It was a 3-fight win streak, I believe. 5-fight win streak. 5-fight win streak. 4 of them in the UFC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, 5 UFC win streak. He was looking good. And then he took the fight against Michel Pereira and he got knocked out in the round 1. He got knocked out in a minute. It was short notice. And I'll be honest with you, I picked Petroski to win that fight. I don't think it's more so Petroski's really that bad. I just more so think that I've been underrating Petroski. And now he's coming to this fight as an underdog, which I could kind of see. The only reason being is, yes, it was in October, but still, that was a bad knockout. He got absolutely flatlined. But Jacob Malkoun's not good. He's not that good. He beat Nick Maximov and he was beating Cody Brundage until he got disqualified. He was absolutely winning that fight. He lost to Phil Hawes though. Knocked out by Phil Hawes, which is something that scares me. Lost to AJ Dobson, and we saw Dobson just doing so good against Shabazian last weekend and just getting flatline KO'd by getting hit from his forearm. I don't get it. So I don't know. I don't think Jacob Malkoun's that good. Petroski, he's better on the ground. He has better BJJ, which I really think. I don't know. I want to lean. I think I want to lean towards Petroski. I don't want to take the dog. Like, I've been doing so bad at taking the dog. But he's a minor dog. I'll go Petroski and win it by decision. I think he's still a good fighter. He just ran into a Michel Pereira that we just underrated. Victoria Dudokova versus Melissa Gatto. Initially, I was on the Dudokova side, but then I realized she was moving up. I watched her last fights back. She really struggled. I don't even know if she won those fights, to be perfectly honest with you. She really struggled against a Jinu Frey, who's a very small strawweight. She struggled against Estela Nunes. She won the fights, but not the Estela Nunes. Sorry, Maria Silva. She won the fights, but I don't know. But Melissa Gatto's on a 2-fight losing streak. Not to bad opposition. She's beating some solid fighters. It's hard to say. Gatto's got the advantage in the grappling. She definitely, if it goes to the mat, she is the better fighter on the mat. Dudokova, I feel, has a speed advantage. Being the smaller fighter, she's used to being at the smaller weight class. But the size, and reach of Gato. And I think Gato hits harder, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to take Gato decision. Don't bet in this fight. If you must, though, over 2.5. Easy. Ibo Aslan versus Anton Turkalji. I can never say his freaking name. I can never say his name. The guy who knocked out by Tyson Pedro made me some good money from that. Yes, this is going to be a debutant for Ibo Aslan. He's pretty good. Simple as that. Simple as that. He's a very basic fighter, and this is going to be a rematch from the previous fight. Turkalji did beat him, and that is the only loss that Aslan had. It's because he fought really hard and he gassed out in the second round. This is pre-UFC, by the way. Anton Turkalji, I just don't think he's that good. I'm sorry. I don't think he's that good. He's gotten into the UFC off his Contender Series win, and what did he do with it? He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to an Almeida, who is a bigger guy. He fights naturally at heavyweight, and I was a light heavyweight. And then he lost to Petrino, who's a super hard hitter. Somehow went the distance with him. And then Pedro knocked him out. I think Anton is not good. I think Ibo, he really let that only loss sit in the back of his mind. I think he's really going to plan for the grappling heavy style of the Pleasure Man. And I think Ibo Arslan's going to win on a decision. I'm going to say KO. Aslan, he hits hard, man. That's the thing. He hits hard. I don't know why I wanted to say decision. Boy, does he even have a decision win? He's a perfect 12-0 in terms of knockouts. Yep, 100% finish rate. Anton's coming off that bad knockout. Grant is back in September. Nah, man. Nah, give me Aslan by KO. Screw this fight. Screw this fight. Nope. Dennis Bazooka versus Conor Matthews. I don't know who's going to win this fight. The thing is that scares me. Bazooka, he's the favorite, right? I gotta scroll down because, they moved the fights. Apparently, some fights are on March 30th and some fights are on March 31st. That's not accurate. That's just the way the odds site I look at it does it. They're the only people who have the early odds. Where's Bazooka? Yeah, Bazooka is the favorite. Nah, man. But I ain't picking Conor Matthews either. Conor Matthews, I'd say, is probably the better fighter, but neither guy is really good. Oh, man. Matthews' decision. Screw it. Don't bet it. Julio Arso versus Herbert Burns. This is going to be a simple one. I'm not picking Burns. I can never pick Herbert Burns. He's not cut from the same cloth like his brother Gilbert is. He is quitting. He's a quitting man. Everyone talks about, Charles Oliveira quits in fights. Oliveira did, but he never quit to the same level that Herbert Burns did. Herbert Burns looked so bad in his last fights. He quit to Bill Algeo. Oh my God, it was so bad. Sherdog MMA has his TKO retirement. He just didn't want to fight anymore. Gilbert Burns had to beg him to fight, man. And then beyond that, he was on a long-ass layoff. Herbert Burns does not fight often. He doesn't fight that. He gets a really hard single round. Julio Arso is just going to hit him hard, hit him fast, and he's not going to be able to take him out in the first round. I think first round is going to be very dangerous for Julio Arso. I think if you're going to bet, you're insane for betting on this fight, but if you're going to bet Herbert Burns rounds 1 or 2, or Julio Arso Herbert Burns rounds 1. Julio Arso rounds 2 or 3. That's it. Give me Julio Arso. Give me for him to win by TKO. Gendrova. I can never say her first name, even though it's so easy. Gendrova versus Luque Godinez. Simple. Luque Godinez. I just don't think Gendrova is... I don't think she's bad. I don't want to say that. But I think Luque overall is just the more complete fighter. She's a lot better in the grappling realm, and that's her aspect. That's her wheelhouse. Her wheelhouse for Gendrova is grappling. Luque, I think, is the better grappler. I think he'll probably end up being a stand-up fight. Who do I like as the better striker? I like Luque. I like Luque slightly more. Gendrova's a solid striker, but I think Luque has more power, more awkwardness to her style. If it goes to the ground, give me Luque all day, but I'm going to take Luque decision. Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emers. Nate the Train. I like Nate the Train. I'm sorry. I know he lost his last fight against, who was it? Dan Ige, right? Dan 50K Ige, yeah. But I think he's good. I think he's a good fighter. Nate Landwehr's fight against David Onama was one of the best fights of 2022. I think he could take on Jamal Emers. Jamal Emers, he knocked out Dennis Bazooka, but Dennis Bazooka's garbage. I don't really treat that much of a win. I think he kind of got robbed against Jack Jenkins. I picked Jack Jenkins, but I think it was close to robbery. It was a close fight, but I don't know. Beyond that, I just don't think Jamal Emers has got much going for him other than his reach. But Nate Landwehr's got solid reach as well too. I think Jamal Emers is a very long point fighter who's able to kind of pick you apart from distance. But I think Nate Landwehr is just going to be a dog, power through it. I can see him getting some takedowns, controlling Jamal Emers on the ground, and get me Nate Landwehr by a decision win. So now we're on to the main card. Chidi Njokuani versus Reece McKee. I don't like Reece McKee at all in this matchup. I think Chidi can absolutely bang him up. The only thing that scares me is Chidi's never been the same since the RoboCop fight. He's fought timid. He's fought shy. He got destroyed by Michal Oleńczyk the one time I don't pick the Polski. And then he also got destroyed by Albert Duraev. He's never been the same since the Gregory Rodriguez fight. But Reece McKee is just not that good. We saw him get pieced up by Angelusa. And then beyond that, we haven't really seen much from him in the UFC. He got booted from them, went to Cage Warriors, got a nice little win streak going of 2 or 3 wins. I can't remember, in Cage Warriors or something like that. Didn't he fight Hamza Chimaev? He did fight Hamza Chimaev. I remember that he got knocked out. I can't remember who else he fought, who he got booted from. Was it Chimaev? I don't know. I could look up, but I don't care enough about Reece McKee to look it up. Whatever the case is, he's very similar to, who was it who got booted from the UFC and came back and he looked like a god apparently last weekend. That's the only thing that worries me. And Chidi Njokuani, like I said, he's just never looked good since the RoboCop fight. So this is a scary fight for me, but I just think Chidi has the power and I think he has the striking skill set needed to take out Reece McKee. I'm going to be going Chidi by decision. No. Reece McKee is a very shitty chin. I'm going to go by decision just because Chidi's too hesitant now. By the way, go watch the Chidi versus RoboCop fight. One of the best fights of all time. No. Best fights of the year. Sorry, forgive me. All times. That's high honors. Bill Algeo. Hey, the guy who made Herbert Burns quit. Going to be taking on Kyle Nelson. This is another fight I thought long and hard about. I'm leaning towards Bill Algeo. I know he's a big favorite. Yes, he's a minus 225 favorite. I think Kyle Nelson's a solid fighter overall. I think he could absolutely grind a decision, but I think Bill Algeo would be too much of a dog to let that happen, to be perfectly honest with you. I think Bill Algeo will have too much scrambles. He'll be fighting the whole way through. He's good, Kyle Nelson, but I just think Bill Algeo's just going to be a step ahead. I think he's going to be the better striker overall, but I think he's going to take on decision. All right, and then we're going to have Nursultan Ruzibaev versus Cedric Dumas. Cedric Dumas is one of the worst fighters that has such a good record of 9-1 with multiple fights in UFC, and somehow he just keeps getting away with it. You know why? Because he also fights guys who I just think are not that good, like Abu Azaitar and Cody Brundage, but somehow he loses to Josh Fremd. I said it, I will never pick you if you lose to Josh Fremd, but I did pick him to beat Cody Brundage because guess what? Cody Brundage, he's just as bad. He's got a loss to William Knight. So yes, give me Ruzibaev every day of the week. Ruzibaev is going to be the much better striker. He's going to be the much better grappler. I think he has advantages in all aspects over Cedric Dumas, and this is a very easy pick for Ruzibaev without even looking at the odds. I have not looked at the odds. Minus 265 favorite, almost minus 300. That fits. Cedric Dumas, Like, he just fights very lazily. He really like relies on his athleticism without freaking using it. So I don't think he's gonna get much success in this matchup. I think Ruzabev is gonna take him down and ground pound him with some TKO. Give me Ruzabev by TKO. This fight sucks. I'm not gonna talk about this fight. Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. This is my massacre of the night. Bruno Silva is gonna absolutely destroy Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman was undefeated. He was undefeated way back when he beat Anderson Silva. Yeah, he beat Anderson Silva, homie. He beat Anderson Silva twice. He was the one who ended Silva's legendary winning streak. And then with the awful leg snap. And he had a good win against Machida. And it all went downhill from there. You see this? You see this? Rockhold. One of the most horrific beatdowns of all time. Romero, was he the one who cracked Weidman's skull? I can't remember whose skull Weidman cracked. Romero cracked, but he cracked someone's skull. It's probably Weidman. Gegard Mousasi. He beat Gaslam. Cool. Souza. Reyes. He's just not good. He's just not good. One of the worst leg breaks of all time. Exact same way he broke Silva's leg. And then the Tavares fight. I will say, Tavares is my lock of the night, and he did not look like a lock of the night. Tavares, I felt, was getting rocked at some points, but he just kept kicking Weidman's leg, and it just shut down. Bruno Silva's got power, man. Bruno Silva lasted the whole way against Alex Pereira, which is just insane to me. But ever since that, I feel like he had micro concussions from that fight, because he hasn't looked that good since. He has not looked that good since. But he knocked out Brad Tavares, which is insane. But the only way you're beating Bruno Silva is really decisions or submissions. Weidman, yeah, he's got some good grappling, but it's not as good as it used to be. That's why I say it's got some good. People are going to be, Weidman has good grappling. Weidman is an elite grappler. What do you mean? Yeah, it was good back in the day. It's not good anymore, man. Especially how old he is. It's advanced too much. I just don't think Weidman has been able to advance it with how long he's been out. And like I said, his freaking leg. This is my massacre of the night. Bruno Silva by KO, round 3. Round two. And on to the co-main event of the evening. I have a graphic for it. Vicente Luque taking on Joaquin Buckley. This is a very solid fight. Big step up in competition for Joaquin Buckley as well, too. I know Vicente Luque has seen better days. Well, I mean, he's only lost 2 and then he won 1. But still. Welterweight matchup, Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. Luque is going to be 32 years of age, 22 wins, 9 losses, 11 knockouts, 8 submissions. My God, that's a beautiful finishing rate. 5'11" turns of height, orthodox stance, 75.5-inch reach, disadvantage, a 1.04 takedown average, a 56.04 significant strike accuracy, minus 155 favorites, significant wins over RDA, Michael Chiesa, Tyron Woodley, and Randy Brown. When I thought of Vicente Luque, I thought his resume was better than that. I really did. It's not that good. He's got a win over Bilal Muhammad, but that was way too long ago. That was old school Bilal Muhammad. Joaquin Buckley is going to be 29 years of age, 17 wins, 16 losses, 12 knockouts, not a damn submission to his name, 5'10" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 76-inch reach advantage, a 1.51 takedown average, a 35.65% significant strike accuracy, plus 120 underdog with significance over Alex Morono, Andre Fialho, and Albert Duraev. I feel like Joaquin Buckley is probably going to rematch Kevin Holland at some point, because they both were welterweights when they first fought, and then they both moved down to welterweight and have had some success, but both are still at that cusp of 15, top 15-ish, to be honest with you. I don't like Vicente Luque in this matchup. He's a slight favorite. I feel like a lot of people are probably feeling he'd be more of a favorite. Yeah, Luque can crack, and yeah, we've seen Buckley knocked out, but those are by kicks. Luque is like a hook man, but the thing about Luque, he had brain bleed. I know he beat RDA, he wrestle fudged him, but I don't think he's gonna put that same level of wrestling pace as Buckley on Buckley. We saw how Dudova was trying to wrestle out Buckley, and Buckley was able to beat him. I think Luque is gonna run into the same kind of thing, and Buckley is bigger, used to be a middleweight, and Luque struggles with southpaws. What is Jeff Neal? A southpaw. I could see Buckley having success in the southpaw stance, landing shots on Luque. He shells up and does not move his head. He strikes, he does not move his head. And his brain is never going to be the same from that legendary beatdown that Jeff Neal gave him. I don't care. I know he beat RDA, but that was a smaller RDA. I'm going to give it to Buckley. I think Buckley wins it. I don't think he's going to knock him out because I think his chin is still there. I don't think Buckley is the same level power puncher as Jeff Neal, but I think Buckley could win a hard fought fight in the scorecards. I think he could tag him, land some really solid shots, rock him a few times. Probably not knock him out though. So give me Buckley by decision. Where is my stereo? And on to the main event of the evening, Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. This is going to be a flyweight matchup. 24 years of age for Erin Blanchfield. God, she's young. God, she's young. Jeez. 12 wins, 1 loss, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions, 5'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 66-inch reach advantage, a 2.86 takedown average, a 71% significant strike accuracy, a -155 favorite. Significant wins over Talia Santos, I did not spell her name right, Jessica Andrade, Molly McCann, and Miranda Maverick. Manon Fiorot is going to be 34 years of age, 11 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts, 0 submissions. She's 5'7" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 65-inch reach, disadvantage, a 1.36 takedown average, a 41.76% significant strike accuracy, plus 130 underdog, with significant wins over Thug Rose, Caitlin Chukagian, Jennifer Maya, and Myra Borda Silva. Yeah. So in the UFC, like Manon Fiorot may have a lot of knockouts, but in the UFC, she's a decision machine. She likes to pick you apart from distance, or she'll like to land some strikes in the clinch. She did beat Rose Namajunas. I was high on the Rose train, saw what she was at, and then I was no longer on the Rose train, and we saw Rose beat the crap out of Amanda Ribas in a boring fight. So, yes, I'm not very good with getting Manon Fiorot fights right. I think I picked Caitlin Chukagian to beat her, to be honest with you. I can't remember. All I know is that fight shouldn't have been on the main card of UFC 280. But regardless, I just think Erin Blanchfield's a better grappler in this matchup. I think Manon Fiorot is the better striker. This is a hard 50-50 matchup for me. I think the odds should be a little bit more closer towards the pick'em, but I do really like Erin Blanchfield. I like what she's been doing. I like her striking ability has been getting better. We saw a little bit against Talia Santos in the Talia Santos fight. It got a little bit better, but I just think her grappling is just so good, so on point. She loves that crucifix position. She could really get her into some trouble. She's able to get her in that crucifix position. It's just going to be very difficult to do. Ultimately, I like Erin Blanchfield in this spot. I think Erin Blanchfield, I think she's going to be able to beat her on a decision. The fact that it's a 5-round fight makes me worried because Blanchfield did seem to gas out a little bit in the Santos fight, but she managed to kind of like eke it out. And we saw her blitz Maverick and blitz McCann and blitz Andrade. So, I don't know. Maybe she could blitz Manon Fiorot, but I don't think Manon Fiorot is going down to the fight. I don't think she's getting finished. I want to lean towards decision, but just decision scares me because Manon Fiorot, I think, could pull ahead and win in the later rounds. So, give me tentatively Blanchfield decision. I could also see possibly, if she could get in a bad spot, she can get that submission, but Manon Fiorot has just been looking really good in her run in the UFC. So, and I could see Manon Fiorot maybe getting a knockout, to be perfectly honest with you. That is also a possibility, but I just haven't seen much of her power as of late. So yes, once again, this has been your boy Gomi, popping out for the night. That has been all. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Bye-bye.